Good morning, Dingle's Crypto. I hope everybody's having a fantastic morning because you know what? You know what? Bitcoin's at 19.7, 19.7, 19.7. But is it going to break 20K? That's the question everybody wants to know. 20K, is it on the horizon? Well, let's talk about that here soon. First, before I answer that question, 108, we need to get 200 by Christmas. So if you're not subbed right now, go down, hit that sub, and on the way up, hit that like button. I really appreciate you. So let's jump right into the price action. I don't really do technical analysis. I know technical analysis everybody likes, but short-term technical analysis, I don't necessarily trust, okay? And I just look at it. I mean, this is some technical analysis makes fundamental sense, right? So like, okay, so we dipped down, saw support at 17, people bought. We hit 19.7-ish again for a brief, and then we went back down to 18 about. So the support's getting higher, and we're testing the same resistance every time, 19.7-ish, right? So we're just weakening 19.7, okay? And now we're testing it again this morning. And we could see a push back down to 18.5. And you know what? 18.5 might be your last buying opportunity before we go through 20K, right? So keep that in mind. And just, if we go back down to 18.5, I have the piece of news that will break us through 20K. When this news comes out, we will break through 20K if we haven't already, right? So keep that in mind. Ethereum is doing the same thing as Bitcoin for the time being, but I do have something to put EIP-1559 into perspective, right? So there's another token that does similar. It's not exactly similar, but it does burn off of volume and other circumstances on their protocol, and there's a tracker for it. So, but anyways, this is another thing. Like Grayscale, 14,000 Bitcoin worth 270 million over the last 7 days. So Grayscale, they're not slowing down buying. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin, man, what's their Bitcoin's inflation rate? Maybe like 600 or something Bitcoin a day. So they're buying 100% of the newly mined Bitcoin, or just about. I think it's 600 a day, if not around that range. So they're buying all the newly minted Bitcoin. So the only Bitcoins on the market right now is circulated Bitcoin, which is crazy. But also Bitcoin futures are up. All-time volumes on all these exchanges, right? So people are longing. I don't know who's writing these contracts. Man, one thing I'm looking forward to is to have DeFi derivatives and have them as big as some of these things. So you have decentralized exchanges as big as Binance and Coinbase, like Uniswap, and even SushiSwap got up there for a little bit, and Balancer. But those three exchanges are pretty big, right? So, but I'm excited for the next big thing is DeFi derivatives. So I guarantee next year or a year and a half from now, you'll see one of the biggest players in this area is a decentralized finance option. Okay, so that will be insane. And I think, what's derivatives as well as insurance. So you could see, well, they won't be doing futures, but anyways, let's move on. One thing, okay, so crypto's pretty prominent in the United States at this point. Obviously it's not over 10% or 5% of the United States population owns Bitcoin, but at least I'd probably say 25 to 30% know Bitcoin, know of it, and kind of have an idea of what it does. But talk about a place that, okay, so India is the largest country in the world, bigger than China, and they're tech savvy. Also, the currency is not the greatest currency. Neither is the United States currency, but anyways, they're looking. I guarantee. They could very easily adopt a stable coin on Ethereum, right? And they can start using that to transact with, especially on like ETH 2.0 or something, or maybe even XDAI. But who knows? Anyways, I'm just saying India. People forget Bitcoin and Ethereum and these projects are universal, and they're global products. So when money flows into it, like Ethereum's GDP will be a mishmash of the world's GDP, right? So Ethereum's going to be its own country basically, and the protocols within it are businesses with cash flow that create Ethereum's GDP, which this is kind of what I've started to believe. It's kind of my own theory, but it makes sense, right? So Trump is reportedly considering pardon for Silk Road founder. So he's been in jail for maybe even 5 years at this point. But he developed Silk Road, and they threw him in jail for it because the government did not understand it. He basically made a marketplace, and he went to jail for it. Absolutely asinine. It's crazy. It's crazy. I gotta take a sip for that one. Okay, let's move on. Okay, UK investment firm. Yeah, I mean, investment firms. Okay, so if you're an actual investment firm, what's your main priority? Stability of return. That's kind of your main priority. You don't want volatile returns because your customers don't necessarily want it. Most investment companies, people put money into have a stable return and kind of consistency. So how do you do that? Diversifying. Okay, so the more uncorrelated your portfolio is, the safer it is and the more stable it is. People don't understand that. So that's crazy. Oh, crap. I know what I wanted to show you. But anyways, let's move on. So, okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. This is what's going to push Bitcoin through 20K if it hasn't already. When the stimulus bill gets approved by Congress, drum roll, please. That's when we're going to break 20K. If we have not already. If we have already, that will just be a bullish, and we might not see. If we pump above 20K, that does not mean we're going to go stay above 20K. We might use it for support as a little bit, but does not mean we can't break 20K, guys. So, but if we push above 20K with this news right here, I am pretty confident that we will stay above 20K. Okay, so when this news comes out, I think this is the news that puts us over 20K, guys. Mark my words. I'm scared now. I don't ever say mark my words. This is not financial advice. I need to say that. But a reminder that the revolution will not be televised, okay? So if you don't like our government system or anything, you don't like how the system is doing or unfair or whatever, buy Bitcoin and participate in decentralized finance, because one of the main monetary power, the main power the government has is controlling the US dollar and manipulating it. And everybody's sucking the D of the government to get that newly minted paper money, right? It's crazy. But people will bow down to you and kiss your foot for some newly printed paper. Put that in perspective, guys. It's crazy. This is one of the greatest podcasts I have ever watched. Obviously, it's a little old, March, so it's right before the pandemic. But Vitalik Buterin and Lex Friedman, also Vitalik has one with Eric Weinstein. Very good podcast. I would recommend, highly recommend, because Vitalik's a freaking genius. Okay, and so is Lex Friedman. He's an AI from MIT. He graduated MIT. He's very good. He's a good guy. So is Vitalik, and they both talk about Ethereum. And Eric Weinstein talks more about economics in his with Vitalik. So very good videos. I would recommend them. And then, so this afternoon we're talking about MakerDAO. And one reason why I want to talk about MakerDAO, not just because it's it's the protocol that produces the primary stablecoin that possibly could become a monopoly of DeFi, because what's all these DeFi products using? DAI to build their products, right? So nobody's using USDC. So you see like Y DAI, and you see all these different DAIs like C DAI and blah 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 DAI, right? Everything is DAI because they don't want to build on a stable coin that's centralized for maybe even technical reasons or legal reasons, right? So it's just a lot more simple to build on DAI. Okay, so do they have a monopoly? I would say yes. I would say they cornered the market on decentralized stablecoins. Okay, so keep that in mind. and they also burn their token. So this year they have burned 1,300 tokens, 93 tokens this last day, 24 hours. So keep that in mind. So maker burned plus, okay, annual, okay, here's the formula. So yearly fees, 14 mil, maker's price, divide. So that's how the annual, so they're burning that many tokens a year. Okay, so that's the formula, guys. This is this is kind of similar to what's going to happen when EIP-1559 comes into effect for Ethereum. The fees, every transaction, there will be a fee associated with that will be permanently burned and never in circulation again. Okay, so keep that in mind. I just wanted to put this out there as well because, and look at the DAI produced. There's 1 billion DAI, guys. So, I mean, DAI is on the up and up. Is it cornering the market? I believe so. So Maker's a project you want to know and look into, and maybe even hold. Maker's a long-term hold, guys. Okay? But that is all. Thanks for watching. Peace out.